Cool. By the way, if it's okay with you, I'm going to take three people at a time because I'm conscious of your time and the show. So
Yes, I can do another 10 minutes.
cool. I'm going to take three people, three questions at a time, and then we'll do it in that way. So let's take Femi, Ishushayo, and Onyeka. Femi, go ahead.
All right, thank you very much. Gbadebo, thank you for mentioning historical perspective. So I'm just gonna give it out to you straight. So number one, I'm sure you must have heard about the Yoruba language bill Ambode tried to pass in 2018. Are you still going to make Yoruba language the lingua franca of Lagos? That's number one. Number two, historical perspective. Are you going to change Lagos back to its original name, which is Eko? Because right now Wales is actually trying to do the same thing. They're trying to change the name Wales back to the Wales, whatever it's called, the name called Kumru. So hopefully, so that's the second question. The third question, can you please tell me the Oriki of Lagos? And then the fourth question, can you please tell me the traits of being an Omoluabi since you're trying to rule over Yoruba people? Thank you.
Ishushayo,
Yeah,
go ahead.
can I
Yeah, go
go?
ahead.
So,
We're
so
taking three at a time.
I think.
Gbadebo,
Hello.
Gbadebo,
It's
Yes.
we're
Gbadebo
taking
still
three at
here.
a time.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Gbadebo, I want to take three people, and then you can
No, you
respond.
can't. That was a very loaded question. Guy, I'm not even writing this. Come on, that's a very loaded question. You want to do another
Okay,
two on top of that?
no wala, no
I'm
wala.
not. But, no.
But you have to give us
Uh-huh.
more time. You have to give us more time then because these people are going to come.
Okay, so yeah, we'll take two more questions, but let me just try and address the questions that he asked that I can address. Um, I don't. I will not be in favor of making Yoruba the lingua franca of Lagos. Right? I will not. I will not do that.
Am I the only one who has lost
Yeah.
Gbadebo?
No,
Ogun,
same.
Ogun to one
I
discussion.
guess
You.
I guess the Orishas of Lagos took it personal. Well, let's wait.
Solomon, sorry, would I have time to actually ask my question, or are we?
Well, I think
You can ask your question. Adamo
that's
can ask the question.
contingent
Is
upon
Gbadebo still here?
time, how much time he basically has left.
No worries, no
So
worries.
he may have received a call. So let's just give him some time to come back. Loma, I don't know if you're in comms with him. You may want to drop him a message. Ejishai, was yours a question or a submission? Whilst we wait for him.
Question, you.
Question, okay, no problem. Oyeka, what about you?
Pardon me, Gbadebo.
Question.
Okay, cool. Guys, we're only taking questions, so if you're on stage and you just want to make a submission, probably just hang fire. I just want to take the people who have questions. If you don't have a question, you just want to make a submission, just move down and we can bring you back up once we're done with the show. Gbadebo, are you there? Cool. Perhaps that those questions from Femi require some prep. Um, cool. Let's see. Who else do we have waiting? Okay, just bear with me, guys. I'm going to see if I can get hold of him in the back channel. Okay, just trying to get hold of him on the phone. Eshishai, what's your question?
know. Me, I want ask my question. Why you dey ask me? Now you don't answer the question. Make you come
The
back, abeg.
the question mo fẹ́ kó wọn papọ̀.
Má kó wọn papọ̀, má kó wọn papọ̀. Mo fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ fúnra mi. Ṣé mo lẹ́nu ni?
Ṣáà ní time fún gbogbo yẹn o.
But no be when e don reach my turn, na him dey give me this rule o. I no dey like rule. Abeg.
But Shushayo, you know you sometimes there's
I'm
a
a
way you
law
they do your
I'm a law
things.
I'm a I'm a lawless citizen. Thank you. Then jẹ́ kí Gbadebo dé. Ada, why be say when e reach my turn, they won't write my question down?
Yeah,
They
because
won't
I don't
match
know,
am
you
go
might
there.
just start insulting the guys. So like, are
Ṣáà
Why
you?
should
Ṣáà
I insult? Why should I insult my friend? I
wàhálà
cannot
ẹ̀
insult you.
wàhálà ẹ̀ ti pọ̀ jù.
Look at this guy. I know this guy well now. I know if he insult him.
All right, cool. Well, look, let's hope he comes back. He's on a call. We're just trying to get hold of him. So hopefully he'll rejoin the conversation.
While he's away, can I just say something real quick?
Yeah, sure, guys.
I really like the idea of the trains. Trains in Lagos. I think like the idea of having people be able to access the city center, like just 20 minutes on train, but then they don't have to live within Lagos as well to reduce the congestion. But I was just wondering how that would actually be done because like, we all know how congested Lagos is. So how would that be implemented? That was actually my question in the first place.
So I think there are question marks around whether or not Ada. Some people are suggesting that you don't even know what Third Mainland Bridge looks like. So
Wow.
you may want to clarify whether or not
Jesus. Oh God. Wait, who are these people, Solomon? Is it you or the people?
No, I actually read it in the chat. I think the guy's name is Omo. I think he was the one that suggested that you haven't seen Third Mainland Bridge.
Oh, you're not serious, eh?
Ada will never reach Nigeria since 2006.
Oh, well.
And there's also, I guess, observations being made that most of the people who are asking questions don't even have a PVC. That was also an observation that people are making. Okay, Gbadebo is back. Gbadebo, are you there?
Yes, and can you please let me know um where I cut off? What was
Yeah,
I saying?
it was literally as you were responding. So you thought the questions were loaded, and you wanted to
Oh
you wanted.
wow. Okay. Okay, let me just try and recall everything I said. I said that I will not be I feel that Lagos has a lot more problems than, making Yoruba the lingua franca of the state. And I say this because Lagos State has its own, yes, it shares a filial relationship with Yoruba land. It does. But if you notice, I mean, Lagos has its own unique culture. It has a culture of, maybe because we are by the water, it has a culture of openness. It has a culture of coexistence. It has a culture of live and let live. I say when you look at someone like Funshaw Williams, you see his wife was Omarandi in Zogu, right? You look at my grandfather was a judge. He had three kids. The firstborn married, crossed the Niger to get married. The secondborn, the daughter, crossed the Niger to get married. Sorry, the third born, his daughter, crossed the Niger. And then the second born, the Supreme Court Justice, was the only one that married a Yoruba woman, right? And I mean, I could go on and on with different families, Lagos families, and people that are pedigreed for hundreds of years in Lagos State. So we have a culture of openness, of welcoming, and that's what made Lagos the center of excellence. It was not by your tribe or by the language that you spoke, it was by your excellence, because the people in Lagos were extremely exposed very, very early. And that's also tied into the fight for freedom. The quality of people, educated minds that lived in Lagos could then challenge the British and say enough is enough. We want our independence. Long before Awolowo and Nnamdi Azikiwe and all those people got on the bandwagon. You had the Henry Cars, you had the Ajassas, you had the Adeni Jones. All of these people were revolutionary in their thinking, in their openness, in their exposure. right? It's very difficult to have have your mind, what's the word? To have your mind um, increased or extended and to be able to go back into the rigid structure of being a bigot, right? But what I'm saying is Lagos has its own culture. And unfortunately, since the Ragbiji colonization of Lagos, which I was actually saying that a lot of Lagos indigenes have been complaining about feeling marginalized in their own state. This has been going on and on for so long. You might have read the writings of people like Gbadebo Dallas, people like General Laiwaju. I mean, so many people have been talking about this. Like, time for Lagos to be run by indigenes of Lagos. But what I'm saying is that even in that, the indigenes of Lagos understand Lagos as a culture, as a state that is about openness, about come, everybody come. You'll be able, an enabling environment will be created, and you'll be part of this center of excellence. So to now, and even since the action group days, since our Awolowo days, there's always been that antagonism between the people of Lagos and the Southwest. Lagos was always standing by itself. In fact, there's a Yoruba adage to that, right? Lagos has always been standing by itself, right? So I feel that we have so
Sorry,
much
what's
bigger
the
problems.
Yoruba adage to that?
It will come to me. It will come to me. Um, so Lagos has always been standing by itself. And I feel that you lost my train of thought. I had a train of thought. Okay, so Lagos has always been standing by itself, and that's what it is for me. I believe Lagos is cosmopolitan. Lagos is literally the blueprint of what a real Nigeria could become. It's a mini state. It's a mini country. I'm sorry. It's a mini Nigeria, right? And yes, we should always give respect to indigenes of the land, right? Because there's been a sort of attempt at colonization by saying we speak the same language. Yes, we do, but this is the only place we can call our home. Like, for instance, an Anima Shaun cannot go to Oyo State to go and contest for governor. It will never happen. A, I mean, I could go on and on, not go to Oshun or Ekiti to go and contest for anything, right? So um, there's that pushback. I do not know the Oriki of Lagos. I'm sorry to disappoint you. I don't know the Oriki of Lagos. Um, and then I think what else did you? The Oriki of Lagos. Sorry, could you please repeat some of your questions? I'm sorry because it cut off and I lost you for a bit.
Èkó Aromisa lẹ́gbẹ̀lẹ́gbẹ̀.
Femi, are you there?
Yeah, just give me a minute.
Okay. Whilst we wait for Femi to come back,
Yeah,
it's
Solomon,
Shishara
I'm
there.
back. Sorry.
Okay.
So obviously, with what Gbadebo said, that means Yoruba language can go to extinction, no wahala. Lagos can kiss his ass on being renamed Eko. It will continue to be Lagos, named after a white man. The Oriki of
Sorry.
Lagos.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I asked you to please repeat the questions because I forgot that. So now that's one you just talked about. Is
I'm
something that's
trying to
actually very dear
summarize
to me.
on.
I do
Yeah, I'm
feel, I
trying to
do
summarize.
feel.
Yeah.
No, no,
So let me
no,
come in.
no.
Gbadebo, one
You're
second. Gbadebo,
passing
one second.
judgment. I asked you to repeat your questions and you're passing judgment. I've not gotten to that. I'm not saying that people should ban Yoruba from the house that they speak, right? Or from family or from communicating, but saying that you want to make an official language, that's a
So
completely different
why
conversation
can't
because you are then
as
locking
a
out
Yoruba
Femi,
man? No.
so
one second.
many people from the process. But please let me just answer your other questions. In relation to changing the name from Lagos, I think that that can be a very good opportunity for citizen engagement. This is something that you can use to bring and forge identity, where you could put it out to a vote, and then people could say, okay, you know what, this is actually what we want. We want to change name, and I'm all for that, right? Lagos is a reflection of a place in Portugal, right? And it doesn't have to remain the same. The name does not have to be there, right? It can be changed. It can even be another name can even be created, even, right? This could be something that's part of a identity building exercise in terms of culture that the state can engage in. But please don't misconstrue my words. I don't think the government is forcing people to speak Yoruba at home, right? And also, it's in the value that the government and the people give to their language. It does not have to be the official language, but it can give value to it. In how you display and invest in your tourism, in how you display and invest in the culture of Lagos, the history of Lagos, letting people know what really is the history of Lagos, not just the superficial things. Because the history of Lagos is deep, right? So it's also the quality and values we give to our chieftaincy communities, how we don't suppress them and use them for our own political gains, but how we encourage their festivals, their regattas that happen in Badagry, regattas that happen in Lagos Island, making it more wholesome, making it something that more people get involved in, disabusing people's minds of, oh, this is jazz, this is devilish. No, making it more normal so people actually start to appreciate and embrace the culture a lot more. These are deeper things we can do to lift our culture up. Well, in my opinion.
All
Cool.
right. The
Um,
last question you
Femi,
didn't answer.
Femi, we need
No,
to move.
Solomon, Marcos, your last question. Yeah, the mute. Just the
Okay,
last question.
very quickly.
I told him to tell me the traits of an Omoluabi. Yeah, that was the last one.
Gbadebo, did you want to take that, or should we move on to the next person?
Sorry, can you please repeat that? It cut up.
He
It
said,
cut
he
Yeah,
off.
said,
am
what are
I
the
audible
traits of
now?
Omaluabi?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I was asking you what are the traits of an Omoluabi?
Okay, okay. That's actually a very interesting question. For me, it's two ways. Oh, this thing is two ways. The Omoluabi, the Oluwabi identity is one that has sustained the Yoruba to be actually one of the most peaceful group of people in Nigeria, relatively. The idea that of respect to elders, the idea of being honest and trustworthy, the idea of, ensuring that even when your elders are cheating you, you still go along knowing that they are cheating, but you give them ultimate respect. Um, that's what I'll summarize it. And I know that when you look at Ifa, they break it down into particular things. I cannot tell you I know those things, but I know the summary of the idea. The idea that people can talk to you and you listen, you have a listening ear, humility, willingness to put your culture, your family, and your traditions first. Right? That's what I understand as the Omoluabi code.
Thank you, Gbadebo. On your honesty is definitely welcomed and admired. Ishishayo, go ahead. Please be concise, guys.
Ah, don't tell me to be concise, follow Bear. Thank you very much. Gbadebo, thank you very much for coming here. I know you since 2016, when co together with Jude Ferrami, you know. Um, I'm just kind of surprised that you don't even know the Oriki of Lagos. At the same time, you don't see any reason why Yoruba should be an official language of Lagos. Whereas there are countries that has different official languages, and English being a lingua franca should not be the official language of a Yoruba state like Lagos. I am Yoruba centric. I'm pro Yoruba, support Yoruba nation, and anything that seeks to preserve the culture, the identity, the tradition of Yoruba people is of uh, importance to me. Along the line of the last question about uh, having Yoruba as official language, what is your plan around uh, giving the giving an holiday for Isheshe Day in August? Because the previous government of what's the name of the former governor, Ambode, tried doing that, and some Islamic fundamentalists in Lagos, NAS